I'm Jeims НтеМео, and I came here to give a lecture, 2 lectures actually, on subjects related to the conference, which is the Energy, Space, and Technology Conference. My first lecture is on the ether exists, correcting a major error of modern science, and it's on the historical ether drift experiments and the evidence for the ether, that it is a real thing that exists, and the implications for that on 21st century science. And my second lecture is on a bit of work that I did on Vίλχελm's Reich's orgone energy accumulator. And the accumulator has an effect upon water which changes its water structural properties, as I've documented using the methods of spectroscopy. So I'll be speaking on those 2 issues, which are relevant to the issue of an energy in the cosmos and vacuum of space. I got interested in Ræiχ as a young man shortly after high school. I got interested in Ræiχ. I read some of his books, and I remember my feeling at the time was, if Ræiχ is correct on what he described with this energy, the orgone energy as he called it, then everything that I knew in terms of the science that I was studying was going to have to be either thrown out or significantly revised. So that was back in around 1970. And I was able to take this work into the university, where I studied it openly, and eventually got the doctorate degree for where my research projects were focused upon making systematic scientific analysis and evaluations of Ræich's findings. I came to this conference for 2 reasons. Number one, because the organizer, Aaron Murakami, invited me, and it was a very generous invitation for me to come and lecture. And secondly, because I'm interested in this question of energy in space, and people who are making new findings and trying out new kinds of experiments and devices to use it to run motors and so on. So I was curious as to see what other people were doing, and of course was willing to share my knowledge with the group. My first presentation on the cosmic ether, people will learn that the textbooks on this question of the Michelson-Morley experiment are almost without exception falsified, that the ether was detected by Michelson-Morley back in 1887, and that there was a number of other scientists, most notably Dayton Miller, who was a top-level mainstream scientist of the day, who also detected the ether and did much, much more work on this question than anybody else. He made the largest light beam interferometer that has ever been made, and he used it on top of Mount Wilson using methods of allowing the light beams to be exposed to the open atmosphere when this instrument was being put into use. And he detected the ether drift at a velocity of 10 kilometers per second, which is just shy of the velocity necessary for space rockets to achieve escape velocity. So it wasn't a small amount of ether drift velocity, which also is an indication of variation in the speed of light by that amount. That becomes significant because the Einstein theory of relativity, for example, cannot survive with such an ether existing. Neither can the Big Bang theory, certain aspects of quantum mechanics, black holes. There's all kinds of things in modern science that are demolished by the existence of the cosmological ether. So I'm presenting the evidence from the history books as well as contemporary research that is not well known, which indicates that the ether is a real thing. It exists, and that it changes so much of modern thinking, modern cosmological theory. Now, the other lecture I'm giving on Vίλχελm's Ræiχ and the cosmic orgone energy which is even more controversial than ether. Ræiχ was somebody who made discovery of a real life energy. He called it the orgone energy, and he applied it both in medical context for boosting people's immune system and suppressing symptoms of diseases, healing in some cases, and went on to find that this life energy existed in the open atmosphere and in the vacuum of space. So in many respects, Ræich's orgone energy, which was a continuum of energy stretching out infinitely throughout space by his thinking, is very close to the older ideas of cosmic ether. So I've done a lot of work analyzing and testing out Wilhelm Ræich's work, and most notably there has been a study I did on water structuring, where I found that I could structure water by keeping it inside of an orgone accumulator for a certain length of time, and this was validated by using the methods of spectroscopy. If people want to contact me or get my books, there are two websites I would recommend. One is my research website. It's orgonelab.org. That's orgonelab.org. And the other one is our book selling company, where we sell books and a few other things. It is naturalenergyworks.net. That's naturalenergyworks, all one word, .net. And those two will also have a pop-up window or a separate web link, where if people want to get on our mailing list and get notifications of new events and seminars and publications and so forth, they can put their email in, and then they're automatically subscribing to our newsletter. Well, you can go in a semi-darkened room and just look at the fingertips, and you'll see that have a bright light shine on them where it's not glaring in your eye, and you'll see with a dark background.
I did.
Okay, so you've seen this.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw that?
Well, I had been seeing that even before I read Ræich, so I was sort of conditioned that, with a lot of curiosity for such things.
Yeah. So. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, are you rolling now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen many things, many strange things, anomalous things in my almost 50 years worth of work analyzing and researching Wilhelm Ræich's life energy research. I've seen amazing things in the sky when I was doing research on his cloud busting method. Reactions to the atmosphere that were completely unexpected and that brought a lot of rain. The most amazing thing was a 5-year project I did with the government of Eritrea, where the result was 5 gigantic lakes in the middle of the Sahara Desert, which nobody had seen in historical times. Nothing like it had ever happened. That was pretty amazing. I've seen experiments with the accumulator that showed the growth of mung bean seeds almost twice as tall as the control seedlings. I've seen people use the accumulator who had chronic problems, illnesses of different kinds, and they used the accumulator, and within a couple of weeks of use of the accumulator on a daily basis, and they're recovered. And this is after trying every kind of doctor that there was around with every either pharmaceutical or alternative healing method that you can imagine. So I've seen all kinds of strange things, wonderful things from Dr. Ræich's accumulator. And of course, digging into the historical research, this also gave a lot of revelation and historical and theoretical substance to what he had provided to the world.